Okay. Go good day. It is getting toward the late afternoon of Moon Day, April 15th, 2019. In the lunar cycle saw Akitsum, the duck moon, when the waterfowl begin having their eggs, laying their eggs. And usually that event, that egg laying event, coincides with the full moon. You know, the white rabbit, the Easter bunny. But this year, I believe Easter has come early here to southern Alberta. And I'm at Spokane right now, headed toward the Big River Island to see if we can prove that fact. We're going to go out and look for some egg caches right now. But at the same time, I thought I might do an update video. I haven't done an update video really for probably a couple weeks. My last video was pretty much a wildlife video and didn't really come up to speed with much of the personal stuff. So I think this morning I'm going to talk about, well, we're going to go look for eggs, and I'm going to talk about wildlife developments first, and then for those that are just in it for that, and anybody that wants to listen to the personal life update, that'll probably come after. And I think I'll do it differently today. Rather than having the camera just pointing at me the whole time, I think I'll give you my point of view. Just turn the microphone around and we should be good. So yeah, the Big River Island is just out here. We're gonna go find a easy route down there, and it looks like right now the water is extremely shallow, so shouldn't have a problem wading out. There's been some years when getting out here to the Big River Island to check on goose developments has been a pretty risky enterprise. You know, but shouldn't be that way this year. Look at all this tall sweet clover moving into the willow stands. Sandbar willow, aka rabbit willow in Blackfoot. Lots of bees. Alright, I'll try to hide the camera's shadow in front of my body as I turn direction away from the sun. So I'm betting just over here is going to be the most fordable section. Typically it goes up, you know, almost to where I'm at my thighs when I ford the stream this time of year, when I ford the river here. We'll see how it is today. I think today it's not going to be that bad. Got my unprotected iPhone in my pocket. It's about up to my knees. Deepest level, that's not bad. It's a ring-billed gull out here. Whenever I see the ring-billed gulls, you know, return, you know, the eggs are not far from being here. The gulls have been here for a couple of weeks now, so it's an old tooth, cow tooth or something there. You never know what you find on these river islands, you know, freshwater mussel shell or clam shell, sorry, not mussel. Yeah, so nature-wise, let's talk about nature-wise what's gone on this week. I've visited Spokane on the Sundays of each of the last 2 weekends. Visited them both with students in the morning, and then back again the Sunday afternoon with Mahoney. That seems to be the time that works best for us to coincide with our schedules and get out here for a walk. Birds that we've seen returned include the ring-billed gull, you know, a lot of crows. Just this weekend, the red-winged blackbirds of the wetlands turned up. So the red-winged blackbirds are back. No tree swallows as yet. There are killdeer though, and I've seen pintail ducks. I've seen widgeons, but I haven't seen any of the teals show up yet, nor even the shovelers. Probably there's some shovelers around, but I'm just not at the right waters to see them. So we're starting to come into the area where the geese would be caching eggs, if they are, and it could be that my thesis is incorrect, but we'll find out here pretty quick whether these guys whether Easter's come early or not. What else is going on with the nature stuff? Today we've got kind of a cold wind, and we've had that the past few days. Hasn't been a pleasant couple of days weather-wise. So I haven't seen rattlesnakes. I've gone to Mandy's den several times to look in and see, whether anybody's basking or not, but I think on all occasions it's been just a little too cool for that. And certainly there was no snakes on hand. So yeah, while the weather's a little bit cooled down. Now look at this, we got a goose nesting right here. She's already sitting on a nest. Hey mama. So not only caching, but actually incubating some of these guys. Hey mama, you can stay. You can stay. I won't bug you. I don't even see you. I'm moving on. Uh-oh. There's another goose on a nest right up ahead. I can see her already. We'll move around her to the side here. So Easter has come early. Exceptionally early. But that's not surprising, because the real full moon occurred with the equinox. Well, since she's off the nest already, we might as well look at how much she has. 4, which is about right. It's another goose on a nest here. I see her. She's already incubating. Don't worry, just stay there. I'm not gonna bug you. All right, let's see who else. Are there gonna be any caches? There's a goose on a nest over here. I can see her. This little bar of willows gets a lot of nests and stuff as well. Okay, this one just stepped off. Now this gull is getting excited because geese are getting off of nests, which is not good. But we'll check how many she's got. Anyway, 4. You got your 4. All right, I'll leave you alone. Oh. Hopefully the gull doesn't get at her egg. Oh, there's another goose on a nest right there. See her? Lots of birds already on nests. Already on nests. There's another one just taking off from her nest. Let's take a peek at how many eggs she's got. Oh, she's got more than 4. Let's go around here and take a look. These gulls are really trying to get in on the action for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's probably a really mature bird, because the mature birds are more likely to lay more eggs. Now, there's a reason I cut out of the willows is because I can already see another goose up in there, and there's one right here too. So I got to cut really wide, cut around both of those incubating birds. There's one in this patch that I can see already, so I won't close the gap between her. I'll just kind of stick here in the middle lands, so I'm not chasing any more birds off of nests, hopefully. And I can just scout around a little bit. Yeah, so it does not look like I'm gonna get any goose eggs likely from caches this year, because Easter has come early, and I haven't had a year like this before where the full moon actually coincided with the equinox. So I wasn't quite sure what to do. I went with what the Catholics do, which is recognize that next full moon instead. And it was kind of somewhere in between, to be honest. There's a goose on a nest right over here. I'm not going to close the gap on her. No reason to chase her off of her nest. So I don't know how many nests that is so far, but these guys got a lot going on out here. There's a bird up there in a nest. You can see her just in that clump there, laid down on a nest. Her gander here is gonna kick ass. This gander over here there's a couple that usually are really tough birds. They'll go after me even. See, that's his honey right there. Yeah, he's one of the good ganders that sticks really close and protects his wife. Not all of them do that, All of them stick around and watch, but not all of them are willing to risk their necks fighting. There's a goose on a nest there. That's probably her husband. See the difference? Waddling away. We're almost to the end of the island here now, and I'll head back up along that shore. We might have a couple of more things go. Here's one sitting on a nest there. I'll give her space. That might be her gander, or that might be a gander of another goose sitting over there. I bet it's the latter. Let's see. Yeah, there's a goose sitting in a nest in there. And I'm starting to disturb her, so I'm going to let her be. Kind of don't think there's going to be anything more along that way. So I'm going to walk back now and probably go to the forest main and give a little update on what's going on in other aspects of my life. Just taking a look at the wide south pool here. Probably gonna walk along the edge of the wet meadows here and then head into the forest main. Continue the narrative. What else is going on in the life of Rye? Well, work-wise, of course, there's skunks and a little bit of raccoon stuff. Like this morning, I went and set up a raccoon trap at a place where a family's been hearing raccoons in their chimney. But I climbed up on the roof, looked down in there, and there wasn't any raccoons. So it's not a denning mother or anything. But I set up a trap at their place all the same. Got several skunk traps around the neighborhoods, and I've been picking up skunks and moving them. I had a really funny experience. I don't think I got it on film. I don't think the camera caught the funny part. I was releasing a skunk actually here at the wetlands, and as I opened up the cage and it came out, it turned and did some stomps at me and this kind of thing, and then turned and ran. And it happened that there was a couple of spectators, that were watching me. running for cover. And one guy, when the skunk went running toward him, he turned and bolted. And then, you know, he was there's one of those red-winged blackbird males right now, giving us a little call. Yeah, this your area. So yeah, he turned around and bolted, but there's this kind of chain across the road to keep vehicles from driving in, and the guy tried to leap over that chain and he wiped out. It was bad. but I couldn't help. I laughed. Like, what do you do when somebody falls down? I mean, sometimes it's scary and shocking, but a guy in decent physical condition running from a skunk, that's pretty hard not to laugh at, Anyway, so yeah, I've been working some skunks. Not enough though. Like, I'm still waiting for the season to kick in really full gear as far as skunks go, because if last year was any indication, I should get really busy here pretty soon, but right now it's just a slow trickle. I'm lucky if I get one animal a day to move, although I do get something, either a call to put up a trap or a call to come get an animal every day. So that's where things are with the small mammals. The rattlesnakes, as I mentioned, it's been a little bit chilly for them this week. I don't expect them to start moving until maybe the second week of May or so, and they could come earlier, but we'll see how things, this year's, it's a weird year in all respects. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but the rattlesnakes aren't on the move yet, so there's, as far as work for me, there's nothing going on really right there. I finished my beaver contract with the nature center, as I showed in my previous video. I'm still working on the Fort Whoop-Up one. It has to install by May 8th, so I've got really like 3 weeks to complete that one, and that one I'm going to be building some replica horse travois, vertical firewood stack, and a tripod cooking station, some old stuff with a teepee encampment they have there. Just looking out over the wet meadows here. Should always kind of stop and look, once in a while. Like that coyote, going up the trail. Coyote goes up just a little ways, stops, looks around, sniffs around, keeps going. Yeah, stop and look around. Don't be too, I remember as a kid trying to do that, like environmental awareness training with my martial arts all the time, always trying to pay attention to who was around and what was going on, and all kakios, and being aware of your environment. Be the magpie, be the crow. So as far as wildlife stuff goes, things are still pretty slow, but the season is getting going. As we saw, today, things are underway, and my business is, in that regard, is going to get pretty busy pretty quick. I hope. Because otherwise I'm in big trouble, because economically I'm really hurting. I got to figure out something to do for next winter before next winter comes around. I've been dealing with taxes too, because I haven't paid, like, I've got a few years back taxes, and so they put the deadline on me for today, actually, to finish both my 2016 and 2017 taxes, the Canada Revenue Agency, and so I had to deal with that this week and really knock those out. Of course, I always wait till the last minute. This is my thing. Whenever it's something that has to do with work on paper can only be completed in, apparently in my experience, work on paper can only be completed in the final hour, always. Yeah, so that's that whole economic work-life side of things, and it's also the wildlife side of things. Charlie, I'm going to be releasing him hopefully soon, but again, he hasn't shed yet. I'm concerned about him. He's really skinny. I don't want to throw him into an environment where he's got to be also stressed by, concern of predators and the fluctuation in temperature and that kind of thing. So I'm holding on to him, holding on to the idea that he's going to shed really fast, and then I'm going to be feeding him, and I'm going to fatten him up quickly and send him on his way. Tiger salamander, who we've named Taco Jr., not quite sure yet whether we're going to release him. The kids are kind of attached. They might want to keep him around as a pet, and it's not illegal to do that in Alberta, so considering that, but I might release him. What else is going on? I've been getting a lot of not a lot, but consistently I get messages, private messages, or sometimes comments on my videos from well-wishers who are sending their best, hopes and prayers for Mahoney and I in our relationship, and that things work out, between us and all of that. I thought I should at least say something in this regard, because that's not what Mahoney and I are thinking is going to happen at this point. Like, we're separated. We see each other every day. I help her out. I take her places when she needs to go some places. Sometimes pick her up some things, this and that, whatever. But I see her every day, right? And we do some things together. We come out for walks and stuff, or I'll spend some time at the house. Maybe we'll watch a show or a movie, this and that. We want to try to maintain our friendship and our connection, because we're always going to be connected, but we're separated. I'm still living with Chelsea. That's not going to discontinue. The kids are becoming more attached to me, of course. 3 months in kids' time, when you're 4 years older, in that age bracket, 3 months is a long time, and that's, the longer I stay there, the more attached the kids are getting, and I think it's a good thing, because I'm enjoying it, they're enjoying it, and I suspect I'm going to be there a while, because I don't think Mahoney and I are getting back together. She also has, I'm not going to go in depth on any of this, but Mahoney also has some interests on the side that she's developing, new relationships that she's exploring, and we're still, we're doing the therapy thing. Wasn't able to go to last week's session because of the emergency with the rattlesnake in Tabor that didn't turn out, but we're going to continue to do, as far as I know, the therapy together, and all of that. But otherwise, we're living separated. I was spending a couple nights a week over there, up until this last week, and then Mahoney thought it better that I could come visit and stuff, but don't really need to spend the night, and I suppose that's true. So as far as things are going, outside, away from Mahoney, with Chelsea, we've had a couple of really cool activities. Most of our life is wrapped around logistics of getting everybody where they need to be to do things for the day, with the 3 kids and her. She's been working these 12-hour shifts, nursing and standoff, which really means it's like a 14-hour shift from the time she leaves the door to the time she comes back. So a lot of our life is just working out logistics. We've been training a little bit. Not so much martial arts. We want to get back into that, but we've been running 3 times a week minimum, and we've been doing some strength training and stuff. If Chelsea's off, we run together. If not, then I run on my own, and she goes to a facility and stand off the multi-purpose building where they got an indoor track that she can run. So been working out a little bit, trying to do something every day, although probably we've been doing 5 days a week in reality. And there's a couple of cool events that we've been able to attend. We bought tickets to Brian Callen's show in Calgary. He's a stand-up comedian, and it's a great show. Really enjoyed it. Had a good time. Got to meet Brian after the show, get a selfie with him, that kind of thing. We have tickets up there again for beginning of May to go see Ari Shaffir, who's another comic who I like, it's really cool that they're coming to Calgary. So we did that, and then this last week we did a lot of mixed martial arts because the Canadian Amateur Mixed Martial Art Tournament was here in Lethbridge, the Nationals, and so that went on for 3 days. And so I had to be there for those 3 days, both for the weigh-ins for the fighters and then to work the fights themselves. And starting on the second day, Chelsea came in to work with us, and she's doing timekeeping. So she's keeping time and ringing bells and doing clapboards and all of that stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we did 3 days of the Canadian Amateur Nationals for mixed martial arts, and then on that third day the finals of that tournament were paired up with professional Rumble in the Cage bouts, and so we had the Rumble in the Cage event simultaneous with it, and had some professional fights too. So all in all, it was like 3 days of mixed martial arts fight immersion. But it was fun. Anything else really big and new? I'm thinking. I'll shut the camera off while I do it. Just in case you wanted a little bit of tragedy in your news from me, my understanding is that the Cathedral of Notre Dame is burning down as I speak, and that a few days ago, I think on Thursday, we had a jumper off the bridge, off the high level bridge here. Suicide. Pretty hard tool to resist, for potential suiciders to have this big old bridge. I think if I was going to commit suicide, that's probably one of the options I would seriously consider. It's a sure thing. From what I've heard from eyewitnesses of suicides off the bridge here, body lands and it sounds like a gunshot. Oh yeah, this muffler thing. Saw this the other day here by the trash, and I was curious about it because somebody obviously put it here, but it's been out here a while. It's got like this lichen and stuff growing on it, but somebody's like, no, this should be trash, it should be out of here. But I think it's kind of a cool thing to just leave out here, actually. It's okay to have I think to have some artifacts of this place's history remaining on site. The human artifacts, the attempt to separate the nature from the human is something that's really, it's a bizarre thing in this River Coulee, Well, first of all, we got this huge monument to our ability to transcend nature, right? I mean, that's what why would you need to build a bridge like this except to send a message, right? So we've got that going on, and then people don't expect to encounter the human stuff around here. They expect this to be the nature spot, right? And up in the neighborhoods and in the city heart, for those to be the culture human spots. Problem with that is that the animals don't see the difference between the two. The animals don't know those boundaries, and so the animals don't stick to the nature spots. In fact, they don't even prefer them for the most part. I mean, there's some animals that are bound to this environment, like the beaver and stuff. They got to be down here, and a good thing they are. Bunch of species like that are bound to these places. But for those animals that can, they've been a lot of species have been trying to adapt to the opportunities that our urban and suburban environments afford them. And so a big part of my work is taking animals from those environments, out of those environments, releasing them back here in the nature spot. Because of this little fiction that we want to live. Nice that it keeps me employed, but I'd be happy to be employed in finding a solution where we coexist with them in our neighborhoods instead. Guess that's about it for my update this week.